Let's talk a little bit about our Leafs because they are beyond confusing sometimes.
Yep.
There was a graphic that was shown on the broadcast. I can't remember who it was that they played, but it doesn't matter who they played. It was earlier this past week where they showed that in terms of points percentage, in comparison to Florida, Tampa, and Boston, the Leafs have the highest point percentage against playoff teams, but the lowest against non-playoff teams among these four teams. And that just sums the Leafs up in a way that I probably couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, if there was any game to show that graphic, it would have been when they were playing Buffalo and they
Yeah.
got demolished in their own building.
Yeah.
Right, just after Austin had a chance to score 60, they come out looking unbelievable against Montreal, and
Yeah.
then they get destroyed. And you know what? We'll give Buffalo credit; they played well. They dominated Toronto. Owen Power looked pretty good,
Yeah.
right? Just, I don't know. You're right. The Leafs are the definition of playing up to their potential and playing down to their potential, and we see this time and time again when the Leafs play Florida, when the Leafs play Tampa, they look really good, but then they get into a first-round matchup. They play Montreal or they play Columbus, and we look like an AHL team.
Yeah.
Is there any reason that you see that this could happen? Like, is there anything you notice differently about when they play these worst teams?
It just seems it's an effort thing. And I talked about this last week. Sometimes the Leafs, they need to be woken up. They need something to spark to then start trying. And it feels like in these games, when they're playing against a Buffalo or a bad team, the bad team often goes ahead in the game. And then the Leafs start waking up halfway through the second or into the third. Oh, we got to score some goals. I think it's just they don't try until they feel like maybe they have to, and sometimes it's too little, too late, and that's reflected in this. And let's not kid ourselves. 71.8 points percentage is still good,
It's
but
fantastic.
it should be way higher considering how good of a team they are and how good they've proven they can be against playoff teams. And
Yeah, no, you're correct. The best teams in the league know how to get it done during games where they know the 2 points are not up for grabs. Like when you play teams like
Yeah.
Buffalo and Arizona, there should be no way that you don't at least get a point.
yeah, I think they only got 1 out of 4 points against Arizona, and they're 1-3 against. They're 1-3 against Buffalo this year, which is quite frankly the difference between where they are and first in the division.
Yeah, and bringing it back to the game last night, we're filming on, what day is it today? Friday. Yesterday they played Washington. I had the privilege to be at that game. They looked fantastic against a French playoff team, and I guess this kind of continues this correlation about playing well against good teams. Last night, the Leafs got incredible scoring depth. If I told you that the Leafs would win 7-3 and Austin and Mitch and Johnny wouldn't score a goal,
That's pretty good.
would you believe that? I think Bunting, Mikheyev, and Nylander had two.
All got 2.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of sad to say now that Nylander is a source of depth scoring because he plays on that third line.
Yeah.
He looks great on that third line. I mean, yeah, the Leafs looked so good last night. We hemmed Washington in their own zone. Ovechkin looked invisible. Wilson looked
Yeah.
invisible if it wasn't for the fight that he had against Kyle Clifford.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this isn't a bad sign. Maybe if the Leafs get a good playoff matchup in round one
Which they
against a very good team, we see the best out of them.
Yeah, it's weird asking for a good team in the first round, considering we haven't won a first round ever. Well, not ever, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But they do seem to play better against these good teams. I don't know if that's a maturity thing, but it's a thing. And granted, I would rather it be this one than the other way around, but it shouldn't be, right?
It shouldn't, but the Leafs are a tale of, like we said, playing up to their opponent. I thought that was an immaturity thing because this team was collectively so young during these times, but the team is getting older.
They're not that young
This
anymore.
is no longer an excuse, and maybe we finally see the curse being broken this year, and in the first round they beat Boston like 4-1. Kind of scared to go up 3-1 against Boston just because of what happened last year to Montreal.
Yeah.
But if there's one source of the Leafs starting lineup that is going to be important, it is their defensemen.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to talk to you about this because, this is kind of weird to say, but for the first time in a while, the Leafs have a surplus of quality starting defensemen.
I love it.
Yeah, they have about 8 really valid defensemen, and I'm asking you, if you are Sheldon Keefe, come playoff time, who are the 6 defensemen you are playing? Or maybe the easier question to answer is like, who are the players that you are scratching up in the press box?
Yeah, I think I'd have it the way they had it yesterday, which, if I'm not mistaken, was Riley Lyubushkin, Muzzin Brody, and then Giordano and Liljegren on the last pair. I think that's when they're at their best. And then Sandin and Hall as extras are good depth. Yeah. We haven't had good defensive depth since this core sort of came up. This is probably the best they've been on paper defensively.
No, I agree. Sheldon Keefe loves to mix up the lines. He loves to do it. And, the first time I ever disagreed with Sheldon Keefe was when a couple games ago they scratched Lyubushkin instead of Hall, and then they scratched Liljegren instead of Hall. And I completely agree with you. Come playoff times, there is only one starting 6 that needs to be played every night, because I think every single defensive pairing offers a different source of strength to the Leafs. And we'll start off with Riley Lyubushkin. They went out to get Lyubushkin because he does not rush the puck. He will stay home and let whatever defenseman he's playing with take the reins. And the perfect player to be with him by his side there is Morgan Rielly. Yeah. Morgan Rielly is an offensive defenseman. Defensively, he is average, but because he puts up 65 points, you take that. Yeah. Lyubushkin had his first goal of the game last night.
Yeah, they were so hyped.
Yeah, his first goal. Yeah, so that pairing is great, because now you let Rielly push up on playing 25 minutes a night, and you know that they're not going to get caught on some crazy 2-on-0s. Number 2, Muzzin Brody. That's the shutdown line. We see Brody playing successfully on the right side. Thank God, because there had to be a guy to go there. But the Muzzin Brody line, neither of those guys are offensively great anymore. And if you can play that line against, I don't know, the other team's best line, you take that, right?
Absolutely.
And then lastly, Gio Liljegren. I didn't like Liljegren very much starting off the year, but I will say Giordano has had a huge impact on that kid.
Yeah, he's just taking some time. He had a bit of a slow start, and he was improving steadily. And once Giordano got here, he took it up another level. He looks great. Yeah,
the only place I'll disagree with you is I think come playoff time, I think they'll slot Sandin there instead of Liljegren, just because of the notoriety that Sandin brings. He might play that second power play.
I don't care.
Yeah.
If Liljegren's better than Sandin right now, you play him. And I don't know if Sandin can play on the right either. So for consistency's sake, just play the best players. Yeah, Liljegren is less seniority than Sandin and Hall for that matter, but they need to win. I don't care who you offend.
So you don't think he's worth playing because he plays that second line power play? You think that's Gio's power play now?
Gio's been doing a pretty decent job there, and we all know it's the first PP that really matters, because they have basically their fourth line running PP2 anyway. Mm-hmm. They play a minute and a half the first power play of every 2-minute power play. So I wouldn't sacrifice the stability of the defense for 30 minutes of power play time.